Today's program is brought to you by Vagabond Creative Studio and Grow with KLO. Good morning and welcome to the Coolest Coast. This is Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We are your hosts, Tina Fricke of Vagabond Creative Studio and Kristin Odell of Grow with KLO. How's it going, Kristin?
It is going fabulous. Good morning.
Good morning and happy anniversary to you.
Thank you. Yes. Sorry for the grainy picture, guys. But yes, Doug and I were very happy to celebrate 12 years of marriage yesterday. Like all late 30 and early 40 somethings, we celebrated by getting biometric screenings for Doug's insurance. And then we had a delicious lunch at Subway.
How romantic.
Fabulous.
Love is a great topic for today, though. So looking at that picture, it looks like you're in Lambeau Field.
We were. So we got married in the atrium at Lambeau Field inside. And then we got that really cool opportunity to go and take pictures outside. So it's one of our favorites.
That's cool. Did you have a big wedding? Were there many? Did you have a big wedding? Were there many people that stood up with you? Did you?
You know what? All of our friends stood up. Or I shouldn't say all of our friends. All of our friends. That sounds crazy. It'd be like hundreds of people. No, all of our siblings stood up in the wedding. So Doug has 3 siblings and I have 2 siblings. So all of our siblings and their significant others or spouses at the time stood up. And then I think we each had 1 friend. So yeah, it was very good. We have very fond memories of our wedding, and obviously a lot has changed, including 3 fabulous children. So yeah, we feel lucky.
Very cool. Well, congratulations, 12 years. That is so exciting.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And love is such a beautiful topic. So not only love for, self-love, love for our partners, love for our families, but also love for our community. And I'm so excited because we have a guest today who I think demonstrates all of those things, but especially the community really benefits from the love that she gives the community. She serves in a leadership capacity on many different boards, including president of the Manitowoc Family Aquatic Center, the Raw West Art Museum. She's involved with the Manitowoc Public Library. And so we benefit from that love. She is definitely a change agent and a force for change around here. Please welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina, Amy Fricke-Weigel. Amy, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Amy.
Hi there.
So we should let people know. So this is Amy Fricke-Weigel. Amy is part of Fricke Printing, the Fricke Printing empire, can I say? So third generation, you work there in a leadership capacity, and you really are a change agent here on the Coolest Coast, really making a difference. I think, most recently with the announcement of the Phase 3 project at the Manitowoc Family Aquatic Center.
Yes.
Amy, there's you, there's Mayor Nichols. Tell us a little bit about that project. Let's talk about your passion for making a difference.
Well, first of all, that project, we were very fortunate to have 2 donors come forward and give us money toward another project. It always seems like when we're just ready to get done with something, somebody comes and says, hey, have some money. So it was a very wonderful and fortunate thing. And our board decided to do a feasibility study and see what else we could do. In 2014, we put in the miniature golf course. And that was a very successful addition to that. So we wanted to put a splash pad. We went back to the original plans then what we worked on, and the splash pad was one of the ideas. And then also we put in a warming pool, AKA a hot tub. We have to be very careful with that word hot tub because everybody gets like all bummed up if, it's going to be a warming pool, so it's going to be a little bit warmer. It goes up about 92 degrees. It has bench seating with jets in it, so you can sit in there and there'll be jets and then the splash pad, and then there's another reservable shelter. The reservable shelters are very popular at the Aquatic Center during the summer for family gathering, birthday parties. So we figured just have another location, another form of revenue for the city. And so we're happy. We started this in 2015, and I am happy to say that we are, and this is our final project as a board. After this, there's no more. 15 years, we're done.
Like, how old were your kids when you started working on this project?
Andy was 3 and Rebecca was a thought.
Oh my gosh. And now Andy's in college and Rebecca's just starting high school. So definitely a labor of love.
Yes, definitely. And well, you were with Mayor Crawford at the time when we started this whole thing, right? Or was that?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we were with when that whole he called and just asked if I wanted to be on an ad hoc committee to so it was all different business leaders, city different officials, and we did all the stuff and everything, and then we found out that we needed to go ahead and do this for the community. There was a need that they wanted this, so we started in 2005. We formed a board, and somehow when we drew straws, I got the president role.
So ad hoc committee is really code for the next few decades of your life are going to be committed to this project.
Right. So if you ever heard the word haddock, just kind of.
No, it's wonderful. It's such a great amenity to have here on the coolest coast, Amy. Thank you to you and to everyone that worked to bring this to reality here on the coolest coast. I think, it's a huge addition to quality of life, such a great benefit for the kids, such a difference from the pool that we had growing up.
Oh yes, big difference. So your mom would give you a quarter, go across the street, and that was the day there.
So Amy, I know that some construction has started there. How long is this phase of the project going to go?
We are planning to be open by May 1st of next year. They are going to push as much as they can into fall, which actually doing everything with the concrete and all that right now is great. But any of the final painting, any of that final stuff, they want to do that in April because we don't really know what kind of weather we're going to have this winter. I mean, social media is saying we're going to have a bad one. One's going to say, I don't know, but
And so then, Amy, you're also on the board for the Raw West Art Museum. Oh, here's a couple of nice comments coming in. I hope you're watching the bottom of the screen.
Oh, okay.
But so you're on the board at the Raw West Art Museum, and I really love what they've got going on over there too. They were able to pivot nicely during the pandemic so that they've got an art walk, and they've got some really interesting contemporary art exhibits going on. And tell us about your involvement and your passion for the Raw West Art Museum.
Well, my passion started with Barb Bundy Yos recruited me in 2008 and asked me to be on the board. And so I was on the board. And then about 2 years later, she's telling me, she's like, Amy, I'm going to go back into teaching. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave now. And as board president, you and Dan now are going to take over everything. And so then I hired Greg, and he's been an asset to this community. He does so much wonders for that museum, and what he's been doing is trying to look at, trying to hit everybody to enjoy art during this whole time. And what he's brought to the museum, we always laughed. The Frank Lloyd Wright exhibit, to me, that was a home run. That was one of our best exhibits. I love that exhibit. And the Chevelle one is another great exhibit. But then also he has kind of opened up, and we started doing the galas. I'm also on the foundation at the RAR, so I'm on the governing board and the foundation. And between Candace Eason and myself, we put on this gala, and the last 4 years it's been a sold out event. And the cool thing about it is people come and they listen to music, get a 5-course meal, and they enjoy the artwork that we have to offer. I mean, we have beautiful artwork. Greg always laughs. There's one artwork that Mrs. West and Dolly Stokes, they got for like $325. Maybe I'm off on the dollar amount, but it just was on a really cheap price they got it for. It's worth millions. Nope. Yeah. It is just, those stories are so cool, and what those wonderful things that we have for our community. To know that we have these prints in our community, it's just incredible. So.
Right. And to know that there was that foresight, going back to Mrs. West, for example, to even start that collection, and then to not only have the collection, but to make it available to the community. Right. We are so fortunate. There's no law that says you have to have a great art museum in your community, but we're definitely better off for having it.
Right. And we as a board, I know they don't use this term as much, but I still like it, was the fact that the art is an experience. And that's one thing that we came back from our strategic planning one time to say, it's everybody's experience. You walk through that door and you see art in your own way. So some people might know everything about an artist, some people might not, but just enjoy what it speaks to them. And that's what the beauty of the RAR is, that anybody that walks through the door, they will experience it for themselves in their own way. I love it.
Yeah, wonderful. And so you can really just see, Amy, with your dedication to all of these different, organizations in the city, why you are an Athena Award winner.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Amy, when you think back over all of your volunteerism and all this philanthropic work, what highlight moment or success story kind of stands out to you?
Oh my. Well, I actually have, I think there's one success story that and I think it was 2 years ago. My father-in-law passed away 2 years ago. Actually, it'll be tomorrow. It'll be 2 years. And it was a week after that, you're just going through everything, and to get a phone call from a donor from Appleton stating that how we treated his family during the special needs and what there's called splash time at the aquatic center. And it was only on that day, it's every time they come and how we treat them in the customer service and what our community has for his family, to donate $150,000 to our phase 3. That was, and then I think the other one was when Tom Bear called me when the first time around and extended that they were going to give more money to the aquatic center. And of course, I sobbed like a baby. I'm sitting here crying. It's like, so those are good moments. And then also, I'm very blessed with my husband and my children. I think they've been very successful with me. Because they've been so supportive of everything that I do. Knowing that my husband's kind of cute. I know he's watching right now because I see him. But he's always looking at me. He's like, hide underneath the desk when they want you to do something, Amy. Just hide.
Yeah. How do you balance family with all of the your work obligations and all of your philanthropic efforts?
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, it's a balancing act, and it's putting priority. And first of all, I have a wonderful family that helps me. I mean, my dad and my mom help me a lot. My in-laws help me. I have dear friends, and we all help each other. So, and then you just have to know what your balance is and everything. And then with my brother and I working together, and with our employees, I mean, everybody works together, and I think that's the key to it. But my main concern has always been Andy and Rebecca. And I think my husband knew that. And so when I decided to move back to the community 26 years ago, like I was telling Tina before, it was only supposed to be here for a year. But I think in the back of with Russ and I talking, we were going to be getting married. And I just think it was just that it gave me the opportunity to be that mom and also do what I wanted to do at the same time. So it's, but people do know that if I'm involved in these boards, they know that I can't do anything in the evening. They know my time set but now I can't use that excuse anymore because they're 20 and 14 now.
And I think you said you still get a solid 8 hours of sleep at night, right?
I try to, yeah.
That's amazing.
I try. So,
Amy, for people who are not familiar with Fricke Printing and what they do, tell us a little bit about your family business.
Okay. Well, we are celebrating their 60th anniversary this year. Bill and I are in our third generation. We are a full commercial business. My grandfather actually used to work for the Herald Times. And then he decided to buy another little printing company, and he established it. And then my father, after graduating from high school, did his apprenticeship and everything, and then he was in there. And then my brother graduated from the University of Minnesota, and he moved back in 1990. And then when I graduated from grad school and everything, I actually had a position in Milwaukee, and I was talking to my dad about it, and he's like, I could really use somebody like you for maybe about just a year until you and Russ get yourself settled where you want to be married and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, well, 26 years later, well done.
Parents are so great at that secret agenda of getting their kids to stay.
And that kind of stuff. So, but it's been a major learning curve. I think for my dad, one thing that Bill and I have been able to bring has been all the new technology, some of the new business trends, business way of doing things. I mean, when you take these business classes, you got your Y theory, you got this theory, and basically you fly by the seat of pants and you do everything. So, it's and all that, whatever. But
Speaking of your grandpa, Amy, did I notice, is there some like printing equipment that's at the Historical Society, like at Pinecrest, that came from your grandpa?
no, that didn't. That actually came from Colorcraft. I think that came from Colorcraft.
Oh, okay.
But we do still have one of those, so it's a letterpress. So but that's the way they used to set type, and it's just incredible. Just like we have donated a lot of stuff to the Hamilton. Is it Hamilton?
Yep, the Wood Type Museum.
Wood Type Museum, yes, we have donated some stuff to them and different things. So that's just a really cool way of printing and everything. But it's a time consuming if you can see. I mean, even stuff from 30 years ago or 20 years ago. I mean, Bill will come in my office and he'll show me something. Because the funny thing about it is I'm not even out in the production area. I take care of all the other stuff. And so he's kind of like, he'll come and show me stuff and he'll be like, this used to take us, how many hours, and now we just did it like in less than 30 minutes. I mean, it's just, that's the way of technology. And that's the whole thing. You got to keep investing into it. That's sometimes the headaches of it all, and
really stay on top of it, right?
Yeah, and that kind of stuff.
So it's interesting. You mentioned that you moved back 26 years ago, and at that time, it wasn't really in vogue for like our generation to graduate and to come back, and yet here we are and making a difference. So, I mean, I'm just thinking about like the changes that you must have seen, and even the reception, from then till now. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Sure, and I'll stay not negative, but when you do come back and the first thing somebody says, "So did you flunk out of college?" I mean, right to your face. I mean, that's how blunt sometimes people can really be. And or even like when you're involved with things like this, you'll get parents, they'll come up to you and like, "Well, I'm surprised you're even here because you're always so busy doing stuff." And I think I must have said something one time in the car after going away to the car. I'm like, I'm not that busy. I know my priorities and everything. And so somebody must have made a comment one time on one of these open house school things, like, "Oh, I'm surprised you're here," And Andy actually literally said, "My mom is here all the time for me." I mean, now he was in third grade at the time, but still, I think that I thought, well, I better shut my mouth before I say, But yeah, there was not a reception. People just, they viewed Manitowoc very negatively, like, that this is the only kind of stuff you do here and that kind of stuff. And it took a while. And there's other people that I know that are on different boards that, went to Lutheran High School, Lincoln High School, Mishicot, to Rivers. They come back and they're bringing their talents, everything back to this community. But now I feel in the last 10 to 15 years, I think that it's starting to have a different feel about it. I think people are starting to be a little bit more open, that it's great that people are coming back to this community. And there's a lot of people who live in this community and actually work outside, but they want to live here. They work maybe in Green Bay or Sheboygan or Appleton or something, but they love living here. And we have so much to offer.
Absolutely. I 100% agree that it is an amazing community. And, thanks to leaders like you, Amy, for investing your time to improve it, to believe in it, and make it the gem that it is. And really, I think that's kind of the secret, right? And that's sort of a driving force even behind Coolest Coast is we need to give ourselves that permission to believe that where we live is like the coolest little corner in the world. And everything that we put into it is what not only we'll take out of it, but our families will take out of it. Our whole community in general will rise up.
I know, it's amazing. Even like when we do the splash time at the aquatic center. Now, the splash time was a program that was actually developed from a mother who had an autism child. And Bill Manis and myself, Bill's on our board, we put the splash time thing together, and our board did. And we have people that come from the Green Bay, Sheboygan area, Appleton area. And a lot of them were very sad this year that we didn't have it. But when you get 252 families there on a Saturday for 2 hours, and that feeling of we have a great place. I mean, even the Wisconsin Tourism wrote an article about our facility, the Aquatic Center, 2 years ago, saying it's the best little gem water park in the state of Wisconsin. I mean, it was all the little things. So I think when you look at our baseball fields and the tennis and all our parks, the zoos, even our theater we have here between the forest and the Capitol. I mean, we have so much wonderful things in this community that I think this summer, I think a lot of us took a time, maybe there's a positiveness about this, took a step back and be able to enjoy it a little bit more. So
Nice. I like that silver lining.
yes.
Amy, what's your, so you've obviously seen things evolve and change. What's your favorite thing along the lakeshore?
Well, we moved back here 10 years ago. So I have to say, I love the Lake Michigan. I love the path along Lake Michigan. I actually love driving that. That is just, when we lived in the Kohler/Sheboygan area, I mean, we were actually outside the city of Sheboygan, but to go down to that area, it was fun, but you really couldn't walk. And here you think of it, you got from the Y all the way up to Lighthouse Inn. I mean, it's just a great stretch. And then the brain starts thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if we could build this?
Do it all, Amy.
Yeah, as your kids are getting older, Amy, do you find that you actually have more time to invest in your, not that we want anyone to take up your time. I hope nobody's listening to that.
I have actually stepped back from certain things too, because all of a sudden it's given Russ and I more time to be with each other. It was just kind of funny. Last year we went up to Door County for the day, and I don't even think we were able to do that since before kids. It was just kind of this weird thing. We got in the car, we drove up, and we saw the color, and and it was so funny. We were talking about so many things. We actually missed our turn, and we were laughing about that. So, but I mean, I just enjoy doing that, but also I enjoy. Russ and I think it's been cool that we've been able to spend more time and that kind of stuff together. So.
Yeah.
And did you say you've been married 26 years? Did I hear that right?
24.
24.
24.
Any advice for the lovebirds out there?
It's a journey. That's all I can tell you. It's a journey. One thing to be really honest with you, I think what sucks is having a communication major. I think Russ hates that because, you study about nonverbal communications and all this kind of stuff. And then I'll be like, okay, we need to talk. We need to refocus. And he goes, damn that degree,
Yeah.
So that's the other thing I think is humor. It's humor and understanding each other. I mean, I understand what Russ likes to do. He's very big into scuba diving. He's actually going to go see a shipwreck on Saturday in the Lake Michigan area. He's really super pumped about it. And I'm kind of like, okay. So, I mean, we give each other, we enjoy each time together, but we also enjoy our own special extracurriculars that we each like to do. So
Sure.
yeah.
Have you seen your kids following in your footsteps at all philanthropically?
Nope. Andy is mechanical engineering, and which was a big shock this summer because, well, he wound up getting an internship. So he did not live at home. He was not at home this summer. He was in Brookfield for a company that he did, and he learned so much. He said, he really took a lot away from it. I mean, he worked the shop floor and they built things. To me, it was like a big Lego project for him. That's all I can do. And Rebecca, I don't know. She's him and hagging about different things right now. But right now, she's only to her 4th day of high school, so we're focused on all that right now. So
very exciting.
Yeah, we should pause and just give a shout out to all the kids that have already gone back to school, or a lot of kids today is their first day. So high five to all the teachers and the kiddos in the trenches there at school.
Yeah.
My husband is actually one of them. He is a teacher.
Very good. What school does Russ teach at?
Okay, so here you go. You guys ready? He works at Wauwatosa School District is where he works.
Whoa.
He commutes to Wauwatosa?
Yes, you have 2 more hours on your program. I can tell you more about my life, how this all works. So,
Wow.
yeah. So he's been there 24 years. He's been there. Yep. We lived in the Kohler area, and then when Andy was in 3rd grade, we had to start making a decision because he was going to school here in Manitowoc, and then Rebecca was a baby. So we decided we built a house here in 2010, and so Russ added 20 minutes to his drive. So to me, that's a very devoted, wonderful husband.
Yeah. What does he do to pass the time on his commute? Is he like, does he listen to audiobooks or?
Yes, he listens to music. He's been into some of the audio books, and honestly, you put it on cruise all the way to Mequon, and you don't even think twice about it. And we actually have 2 friends of ours who work in the Appleton area, and they always we would give our right arm to be able to just drive I-43 instead of try taking Highway 10.
Right.
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah. So it's but he does, and then Russ is also head coach for the Wauwatosa East High School for girls swimming. So
very good.
Both our kids are tadpoles.
So are any not necessarily your kids then, are Bill's kids? Is anybody coming up to be the 4th generation in Fricke printing?
Well, we had a little bit. Spencer actually, he kind of helps us with some of our technical stuff. So we have him as a consultant kind of in a way. So
they haven't been coaxed back yet by their parents.
Nice.
Give it time.
Hey, Amy, do your dad and your brother sometimes sing to you at work?
No. No. And my dad technically, my dad still owns the company and everything, but my dad is really not there as much, he's 76 and he's enjoying golfing, and I'm proud of him. He's been doing yoga at the Y, and yeah, he's been really, we call him the intern is what we call him. So if we need anything, we call the intern and we say, hey, come. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and just to let you guys know, I do have 2 younger brothers, but nobody really never knows. Tina knows about them.
Too funny. I'm wondering if they're feeling left out right now because they hadn't been mentioned up until this point.
They're not even watching this, don't worry.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for sharing a part of your morning. This conversation has been so enjoyable. I love the love that you demonstrate for your family, the love that you demonstrate for your community. You are definitely a role model for all of us. Thank you for being an agent for change. Keep it up. We are really proud of you. Happy to know you.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking me to be on the show. It was a very big honor. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for watching Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We will see you next time. Keep it real on the coolest coast, everyone.